The Japanese economy has been stagnant for the past 2 decades, with low economic growth and low inflation. This has been a major concern for the Japanese government and citizens alike, as the lack of economic growth has caused a decrease in living standards and wages for the average citizen. This video will explore the causes of this economic stagnation in Japan and discuss possible solutions to the problem. Before starting, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel Let's Talk Economy for more future updates. So let's start. Deflationary pressure. The persistent deflationary pressure is one of the key causes of Japan's economic stagnation. After the country's asset price bubble broke in the early 1990s, this pattern has persisted, resulting in stagnant real earnings and weak consumer demand. In particular, the Bank of Japan's quantitative easing program has not been able to fend off deflationary pressure since it has not been able to increase demand sufficiently to keep up with the deflationary environment in the country. This has prolonged the economy's stagnation and limited economic growth. Aging population. The rapidly aging Japanese population is a factor in the country's stagnating economy. With one of the greatest proportions of senior citizens, Japan has one of the world's oldest demographic pyramids. As a result, there are fewer people in the workforce and fewer potential customers available in the market. Because there are fewer individuals to occupy key positions in the economy and fewer consumers to drive economic activity, growth rates are slowing down as a result. Low productivity. Japan has been struggling to increase its productivity and reach the same levels as other developed countries such as the US or Germany. This is due to Japan's long-standing reliance on conventional techniques and its delayed adoption of innovative methods and technologies. Businesses are unable to optimize their productivity or efficiency as a result, which restrains economic expansion. Poor management of resources. Natural and other resources are poorly managed in Japan, as has long been acknowledged. Particularly, the nation's forests, fisheries, and agricultural land have been poorly managed, resulting in their depletion and the inability to reap economic benefits from these resources. As a result of these resources' inability to spur growth, the Japanese economy has generally performed worse. High debt levels. One of the highest debt levels among major developed nations is seen in Japan, where the total public debt exceeds 200% of the country's GDP. Due to the increased burden placed on taxpayers, the cost of borrowing has increased and household spending has decreased as a result of the high debt level. Because of this, the economy has entered a cycle of low expenditure, which makes it challenging to spur growth. Lack of investment. Investment has been a major problem for Japan because it has not been able to draw in enough foreign direct investment, especially when compared to other industrialized countries like the US and UK. The capital stock is stagnating as a result of the lack of investment, which prevents Japan from making the best use of its resources. Political uncertainty. In recent years, Japan has seen a lot of political upheaval and uncertainty, which is likely playing a role in contributing to its economic stagnation. A trade battle with the US and political disputes with Japan and China over an island chain in the East China Sea raise the country's risk premium and detract from its appeal to foreign investors. If firms are less likely to invest or generate jobs if there is a high chance of conflict, this contributes to the economy's stagnation. Declining exports. Japan's exports have been falling for a while, and the trend seems certain to persist. Since 2013, the nation's exports have been declining, and according to figures from the Ministry of Finance, exports in 2019 were at their lowest level since 2009. The weak global economy is the fundamental reason for the drop in exports. A sluggish global economy has resulted in decreased demand for Japan's produced goods, particularly electronics and autos, which are important exporters of their own. Exports are also being affected by the high yen since it raises the price of Japanese goods relative to those made in other nations. A number of recent natural disasters have also affected the nation, including the earthquake and tsunami of 2011, which forced the closure of factories and disrupted production. Exports have also been impacted by this. The issue of decreased exports is being addressed by the Japanese government. More public investment and labor market changes are only two of the strategies the Abe administration has put into place to boost the economy. The government is also putting a lot of effort towards trade liberalization in the hopes of boosting Japanese exports. Business structure. Japan's highly developed corporate structure is characterized by a market that is both diverse and fiercely competitive. The keiretsu, a network of interconnected businesses, is the main kind of organizational structure in Japan. Many minor businesses that are connected to the major company, or shasha, through various commercial connections make up this network. The larger companies supply the primary company with specialized services, goods, and knowledge, while the shasha gives the primary company access to cash, resources, and technology. Japan has used the keiretsu model for centuries because it is a useful tool for managing the complex business climate there. The minor organizations that make up the keiretsu are typically smaller, independent businesses, while the main company is typically a major, well-established corporation, like a bank or a trading company. These smaller businesses may be privately held or owned by the larger organization. The keiretsu model enables the larger organization to keep control over the smaller ones and assure their competitiveness. There are various company structures utilized in Japan besides the keiretsu model, like the chaebol. An enormous conglomerate known as a chaebol is one that is controlled by a single family, with the family members holding the bulk of the stock in the several businesses that make up the chaebol. These conglomerates are very strong because they can use their influence in politics and the economy to outperform their rivals. Overall, Japan's highly developed system of corporate structure allows businesses to thrive and remain competitive in the country's constantly shifting market. The keiretsu, a web of interconnected businesses, is the main type of organizational structure employed in Japan. Another type, the chaebol, is also prevalent. Both of these corporate forms are crucial for Japan's economy since they allow businesses to continue to thrive and compete. Low investment in R&D. The poor investment in R&D is one of the biggest problems the Japanese economy has faced in recent years, among many others, R&D. Compared to the OECD average of 2.38%, Japan's R&D investment in 2018 only made up 3.1% of the country's overall GDP, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. Japan's low level of R&D spending has been ascribed to a number of issues, including the aging population, the dearth of venture capital, and the country's long-standing business culture, which prioritizes cost-cutting and efficiency over innovation. Also, the Japanese educational system is frequently accused for insufficiently supporting students' growth as entrepreneurs and thinkers with new ideas. The Japanese economy has suffered as a result of the low level of R&D investment. It has caused the nation's innovation to stagnate and the formation of new businesses to diminish. Due to this, Japanese businesses are now lagging behind their foreign rivals in terms of product creation and technological breakthroughs, which has a negative influence on their capacity to compete in international markets. The government of Japan has implemented a number of policies to boost R&D spending in the nation. To encourage businesses to invest in R&D and to fund research programs and initiatives, the government has offered a number of tax breaks and subsidies. The administration has also taken initiatives to enhance the nation's educational system and support students' growth in entrepreneurship and inventive thinking. Also, the government has launched a number of initiatives and programs to stimulate the expansion of Japan's startup ecosystem and to boost venture capital investment in businesses. This is it for today's video. What do you think of our video? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. Thanks for watching.